I had a Zoom meeting, and I guess the people are not answering the Zoom meeting. So I'll reschedule. Um, I understand what is going on. Okay. I want to talk about the homeless people. Okay. I've touched on this topic, and the homeless people that are going missing in America. Let's talk about this. I also want to talk about the immigration. Okay. So I want to talk about the homeless people going missing in America and the immigration, and these camps. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I understand why all this is taking place. Okay. So we have homeless people that are going missing. If you go to a homeless place in the city that you're in, okay, I'm in Pennsylvania. If there's a homeless encampment, it's one of the worst homeless encampments in Philadelphia. Okay, it's called Kingston. Okay, you have drug addicts. It kind of reminds you of Skid Row. Okay, I've seen videos of Skid Row, and there's nothing but homeless people out there. I've never been there, but that's what it kind of reminds me of. Okay, it's in campsites, encampments. Okay, so now I understand why they're doing this. Okay, and I touched on this on previous videos. Hey, New Beginnings. I touched on it on past videos. Okay, why they're doing, why is immigration doing, why are, okay, so let's stay on the homeless people first. I wrote this down, you guys. Okay, so remember Donald Trump made an order that all homeless people, can I ask you something after? Yes. So all homeless people are being, all homeless people, he says all homeless people and people, he said that all homeless people, so what he's saying is all homeless people have mental illnesses, which is not true. Okay. All homeless people don't have mental illnesses. Okay. So that is not true. That's a lie. Okay. So he's making it seem like all these people out here that are homeless have mental illnesses. Okay. So they're rounding up people. Okay. So people are saying, okay, where are these homeless people going? Okay. Are they finding housing for these homeless people? In some cases, yes. In some cases, they're going to, I believe, camps. Okay. And I talked about this a year, 2 years ago. I said get out of the inner cities. Okay. If you're homeless, so is this a war on homeless people? Yes. And a lot of the homeless people out there, some of them are veterans, some of them are women and children. Um, so where are all these homeless people going? Okay. Where are they going? Okay. So I understand why this immigration thing is going the way it's going. Okay. And also why they're targeting a specific group of immigrants. Well, they're not immigrants. They were already here. If you're in California and all them places, that's their land. You're on their land. Okay, so you're on their land. Utah, California, Arizona, that's all Mexicans. That was a part of Mexico. In Texas. So you're telling them to get off of their own goddamn land. Okay? So I believe it's because of their blood type. Okay? And I'm starting to wonder if the people in Palestine have the same blood type. Okay? Um, so the homeless people, what I believe is happening is they have to drive a certain narrative, right? To, if they drive a certain narrative or certain events, right? What happens? Okay, what happened when 9/11 happened for entertainment purposes? Okay, 9/11 happened and the security in the United States went up, right? But what else happened with 9/11, right? Not just the security, our IDs changed. Okay, we had to have, and I kept remember I kept seeing my ID in the other video. We had to have real IDs. Okay, so they're preparing us for the next ID. Okay, the next ID won't be a real ID. Okay, and the next ID will be a digital ID. Okay, digital. Okay, and this is what they're preparing for. Deborah says, I don't want it. I don't want it either. But I feel like what they're going to do is they're going to put us in a position, okay, that for food, remember I said in this video, you guys, I can't find the damn video, okay? I know it's on one of my videos towards the end, but I did a whole goddamn video on this and I can't find it, okay? I'm looking through my videos. I'm like, where the hell is this video? I went through some of my videos yesterday because I was channeling a famous person that has crossed over, okay? And he was a beautiful soul here, okay? He's still a beautiful soul. And I was watching some of his shows. I love him to death. And I'm like, why would they take him from us, okay? But I know why they took him from us, okay? And by me watching his shows, it's like he's even coming through more, okay? But I will talk about him later, okay? I'll do a whole separate video on him. And I'm like, why would they take him from our lives? Like, I loved his shows. I loved everything about him. He was so raw, so real. We grew with him, okay? So the homeless people, remember I said that there's camps that are set up, okay? These camps are where they're taking them, okay? So just think about it. Like, a lot of homeless people might not even have a ID, okay? So you don't even know. You see Tom down the street, okay? I see Tom down the street and I see Tom every day, right? I know he's a homeless man. Sometimes I buy food and I might get Tom some food, right? And one day I don't see Tom anymore. He just disappeared. But Tom been there for like 20 something years, okay? Or 5 years or 10 years, okay? And Tom was so nice. He would say, good morning, how are you doing? And I would say, oh, hi, Tom. Or I'll bring Tom some coffee. Or sometimes I would just stop and when I buy me food, I'll buy Tom something to eat, okay? Or I might be like, oh, here's $5, Tom. Take that $5 and do what you want with it, okay? So, is being homeless a mental... Do you have to have a mental problem to be homeless? No. That's not true. And the narrative that they're giving us is that all homeless people have a mental illness. Okay? And that's not the narrative. But that's the narrative they're feeding us. Okay? That narrative is a false narrative. Okay? We know this. Okay? A lot of us know this. Okay? So I believe these IDs will be digital. Okay? I believe we already have the real IDs. So the real IDs, if you notice about the real IDs, I don't have mine. It's in my pocketbook. But we'll use this as a real ID. Somebody says, hi, Jennifer. It's rare that I catch your lives, and your topics are also interesting. Listening from Belize. Always listen to the new calls. I like to know what's going on in the world. Bless your soul. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So, okay, so the real IDs, right? I'm using an Uno card. So the real IDs, they have our photos here, and then they have our photos at the bottom, okay? What was very interesting is, you guys know I resided in the state of Florida and I resided in Pennsylvania, right? Florida already had the real IDs, okay? Florida already had the real IDs. Before Pennsylvania got the real IDs, Florida already had it, okay? So they passed the law, I think it was January 1st of 2025. Um, in certain states, I think it was, I don't know if it was a federal or state thing, that everybody had to have a real ID. So if you get pulled over by the police, or you go to get an apartment, or you buy a car, you go open a bank account, whatever, or you just need an ID, right? You need an ID to get a car, you need an ID to buy a house, or you need an ID to have a bank account. Okay, if you don't have an ID, you're not getting a bank account. Okay, if you don't have an ID, you're not going to purchase a car. If you don't have an ID, you're not going to get a house or apartment, whatever. If you don't have an ID, you can't even get a job. Okay, think about this. If you don't have ID, you can't even get a job. Okay, because they're going to need to know your identification. Okay, if you don't have ID, you can't give a driver's license. Okay, and this is the most bizarre shit. I tell you, I come across people and I learn so much by just listening to people. So Florida had real ID before Pennsylvania had real ID. When I had my Florida license, I already had real ID. Okay, but I'm going to tell y'all some very interesting shit. Okay, so each state, we have a man in office, but we have each state running their own state. I've never seen this. Okay, never seen this in my lifetime. Um, okay, Anthony, we'll get to that. Okay, yeah, I had a dream about my friend last night, and I have to call him because he's an alcoholic. He's a childhood friend of mine, and I had a dream about him. And the last time I spoke to him, he got help. Okay, but I don't believe I believe he struggles with this every day. Okay, alcoholism is a struggle for people that are alcoholics or recovering addicts every day. Okay, in his own mind, he's very intelligent, very smart. As my childhood friend. Okay, I grew up with him. We became really good friends in high school. Okay, and I had a dream about him last night, and I'm like, why am I dreaming about him? He's in Florida, and I'm in Pennsylvania, and the dream was so bad. It was like he was like strung out on drugs. It wasn't even alcohol; it was drugs. So the last time I spoke to him, he had an intervention. Hey, he had an intervention, and he said that he was going through withdrawals, and that he was in his apartment, and he just stopped cold turkey. And the last time I seen him, there was entities attached to him. Okay, his name is David. Okay, if he's watching my channel, and he's like my best friend. Okay, one of my best friends, my male friends. And my friends, when I call people my friends, they're truly my friends because I have very few friends. Okay, and I had a dream about him last night, and it was about him and some girl, and he was with this girl. She was also an addict, and this wasn't even alcoholism. This was addiction. Okay, and in the dream, he was stealing from me. Okay, so I'm like, are they trying to tell me that somebody's stealing from my home in my life? You know what I mean? But no, the dream was about him and for him, 111. And I'm gonna call him and reach out to him and talk to him because I'm gonna tell him I'm very concerned about him. I had this dream about him and the girl, and I'm gonna describe the girl to him. And he's very nice looking. The girl, she was very pretty too. Okay, they showed up to my house. They were strung out on drugs. I let them in, and stuff was just disappearing. So I'm like, okay, somebody's stealing from me in the physical. I know they already steal my ideals in the physical. Okay, we got copycats out here. Okay, they stole my name. The Atlas. Atlas was my story. Atlas was my experience. Okay, they stole that. Okay, um, it's crazy what they do out here. Okay, you have people that have their own channel that steal your shit. Okay, then they turn it and make it like it's their shit. Okay, they're copycatters. Okay, and they will be exposed for who they are because they really don't have information. They pretend. Okay, so anyways, so I know people are stealing my ideals on the spiritual. Okay, I know that for a fact. Okay, and I know how to move accordingly with that. Okay, so let's talk about the homeless population. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to implement these digital IDs. Okay, so Florida was already ahead on this. Okay, Florida had the not the digital IDs. Why did I just say that? Because digital IDs are coming, okay? So Florida already had the real IDs. I'm sorry, real IDs. So Florida already had the real IDs, okay? You can go online and look at what a real ID is. What's very interesting about a real ID is when you put the real ID up to the light, okay? In the bottom of the ID, there's a reflection. You'll see the reflection, but you'll also see your photo here. So you'll have your photo here. You have your date of birth, the issue date, the expiration date. I think it's good for 5 years in certain states. But let me tell you, this is so interesting. So I believe the homeless people are disappearing. Okay, we can pull the energy on the homeless people. Once again, I can pull the energy on it. It's going to be the same energy. Okay. Remember the energy that when I pulled the cards out and it said that um, I pulled the cards out that day, and it said that, what did it say on the cards? I used the true crime, and it said like they were like um, a cult, organized crime. Okay, so organized crime is going in there and kidnapping these homeless people. Okay, go to the homeless. If you drive by when you get a chance of the homeless population wherever you live at, what state, and you'll notice that they're not there. Okay, some people used to be under bridges, some people used to be in the woods. They're not there. So where are they? And I can pull the same energy. It's going to be the same thing. They're traveling. Okay, traveling where? Okay, same energy. Okay, it's going to be the same energy. The devil. So there's manipulation going on. I told you guys. The same energy is going to appear because the energy is the true energy. Okay, it's not lying. So manipulation. Okay, so these people are traveling, but they're not traveling on their own. They don't have no cars. Some of them don't have cars. Um, some of them don't have cars, so they're being picked up. Okay. And Donald Trump said what they have a mental illness. They don't have a mental illness. So when we see the devil card, we think of manipulation. So they're being manipulated. They're being manipulated. Okay. The manipulation card, and then in the right away, the devil is in the devil card. You'll see two people bound to the devil, right? And it's like there is they can't. They're in restraints. They can't. They have to free themselves, right? So what I believe is going to happen, what I know is going to happen, yes, Storm. And I'm going to get the devil card in the regular right away. Yes. Yes, Storm. He's talking. So I'm going to show you in this deck. Yes, Storm. What? What do you want? Huh? What? Don't he sound like a baby? Where's his devil card? I'm getting there, you guys. So the two cards we got out was travel. So they traveled somewhere. They're going somewhere, okay? I don't know. I feel like they're going to these camps. And this is a very concern that we should have as American citizens. This is why I say if you're homeless, you need to make sure. Okay, so this is the devil card number 15, which if we break down number 15 equals 6, right? So, and normally the devil card will be no. Okay, a no card, right? And it means earth, the Capricorn energy, right? So 6 is about responsibility and harmony, right? But the devil card is about your shadow self, right? It's about attachments, addictions, restrictions, sexuality, temptation, seduction, destructive behavior, right? Materialistic and codependent and toxicity, right? Toxicity. So you're codependent on something, right? Or somebody. So I believe this is what's going on out here. The devil card, manipulation of these people. Because all these people, there's no way they found housing for all these homeless people. Okay, it's impossible. Okay, it's impossible. Okay, what else do we need to see about the homeless people? So this will be in the 6th house. Okay, the 6th house. I don't have my thing here. I need to get the 6th house. So this came in the reverse, the spouse and partner. So the spouse and partners come in the reverse, right? So knowing if it's upright, this is a good spouse and partner, or a spouse and partnership, right? But it came in the reverse. So whatever's going on is not natural. And somebody's a spouse and a partner in this ideal. So there's 2 organizations or 2 identities that came into partnership, but something is going wrong here. And the reason why I say is because in the upright, it means it's positive, right? Positive action towards whatever the goal is, but it's in the reverse. Okay, so the outcome is not positive. And the outcome is not just not positive. The agreement was, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to set the stage and say these people have mental health issue. We're going to pick these people up. We're going to put them in the camps, okay? But something has changed where it's in the reverse. Okay, so 2 entities or 2 groups came up with this idea. Okay, we're going to move forward. And something's going to come out in wintertime when the snow lands, okay? So some kind of information is going to come out about these homeless people, okay? So that came in at the reverse. And let's get one more card on the homeless people. One more card on the homeless people. So this energy is like the same energy I pulled. So strangulation. So we're not just thinking about strangulation, like somebody being strangulated. Who knows, right? For entertainment purposes. But the rope around the neck also symbolizes strangulation, like don't speak. Hear no evil, see no evil, and speak no evil. Okay? So whatever is being done, we're not going to speak about it. Okay? They're cutting off the throat chakra. Okay? So I believe that they're preparing for. Give me one more card. They're preparing for the digital IDs. One more card on these homeless populations. Now the road card came out, so they're leaving by road, and I feel like they're leaving by air. I don't know why I'm getting air, but also by road. Okay. And I get in the money card here, which I didn't get this out before, but I'm going to pull this out. Okay. So this could be very symbolic. Money. Give me 2 more cards on the homeless people and where are they going. So we got MK. This is MK, mind control. With this devil, manipulation energy. One more card out on the homeless people. I don't know why this card wants to show, but I gotta say it. This card keeps wanting to come out. Social media. So so the travel card, we got money with the travel card. I'm doing the Celtic cross. Okay, the Celtic cross, you do cross the cards like this, right? So we have money and travel. So something with travel and money. Okay, definitely, right? Then we got the devil, and we got mind control. So there's manipulation going on with the mind, and they're saying that these people have a mental illness. So they're setting the stage for their agenda, their purpose, okay, for these digital IDs to come into existence, okay? Then we have spouse and partner in the reverse. So whatever agreement these two agencies or these two governments or these two agencies, I'm going to say agencies, came up with, it's not working. And the reason why is because people will be talking about this on social media, okay? And they're watching this. They're watching this, okay? And then we got strangulation. So we think of strangulation. Do we think of somebody being strangulated? Yes, but we also have to think about the throat chakra, okay? The throat chakra is being where you can't speak about it, okay? See no evil, hear no evil. See no evil and hear no evil. So what you see, you can't speak about, okay? So let's get one more card on the homeless. The secret card came behind it. So there's secrets, and there goes that damn road. There's a road here. So they're coming and picking them up and road on the road, and they said vans. Okay. There goes the organized crime. Same energy. These people that are picking these homeless people up are organized crime. They're gangsters. So I don't know why they would be doing this for money, though. Because their new agenda that they have to bring forth these digital IDs. And this is starting with the homeless population. And this is also happening with the immigrants. You can't go into these places. They're saying that they're putting camp cities up for the homeless people. So where are the camp cities? Now there's a camp city not far from here that was actually on the news. So that you know that their homeless people are at the camp city. But what about the ones that are going to these detention centers? Where are they at? So if you're homeless out here, you need to move differently. Okay, if you're living in your car or you're living on the streets, you need to live differently. And it's very interesting because the homeless people, they're very observant. They're they're on the streets. They see things happening. Okay, and I'm being shown the movie Get Out. You know how in Get Out the old man was sitting there with the beer. He was sitting there drinking the beer, and Jamie Foxx comes out. I think it was Jamie Foxx or one of the characters and not Get Out. Why did I just say Get Out? I just said Get Out. Why did I just say Get Out? And I cloned Tyrone. I just said Get Out. There's a reason why I said Get Out. Okay, so I cloned Tyrone. So remember the old man and he's drinking the alcohol and he's seen the vans just pull up and they just snatching people and putting them in the vans. But he sees all this. The old black man. Okay, he's the alcoholic, but he's pretending to be the alcoholic. Okay, the MK Ultra, yes. So I also believe too that some of the people that are in the homeless community are not even homeless. Okay, they're not homeless. This is very interesting. Okay, and this is sad because some of you guys may have been homeless at some point. Okay, but you have to move differently. Okay, because you have people that have eyes on you. Hey, JR, they have eyes on you, and this is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy what I'm seeing. But the people that are doing this made agreement. Yes, they're undercover homeless. I don't believe all these people are homeless. I don't believe they're homeless. All of them homeless. So you have people that are in. Think about this. Think about this for a second. You have people that are in the homeless communities that are not even homeless. They're undercover homeless. And the reason why I say that is because of this money card. okay, and the travel card. And something by the time the snow hits the ground, okay, is going to come out. And the reason why I'm saying this, give me another card on this, is because they're watching people that are talking about this. Because people are bringing awareness to this. Remember, I said I went downtown downtown in the city, and the homeless population is not even there. Okay, so let's see one more card on this. This is interesting. Okay, one more card on this. So, what is somebody out there? There's a girl cat that keeps. There you go. The same energy. I just pulled this energy a couple of days ago. I think not even 2 days ago, and the same energy is coming out. This trap energy. Okay, trap. Okay, trap energy. Okay, so trap means you can't leave, like a cell. You know, you're in a cell. You can't leave. Um, so there's this trap energy where once you get entrapped, like an animal. You know how we trap an animal for hunters out there? They wanted me to trap the cats out there, okay? So what I would use for the cats is I would use a bait to trap them, okay? So I went to the the Humane Society. I even called them. Somebody said they're also spiking the drugs. Damn. Are they stuck in mental mazes? I don't know. And food. I don't know. And you know, people go down there and they bring them food and all kinds of stuff. But this energy came out before. So this means trap means once they get trapped, they can't leave. And this is a dog, right? A dog, a German Shepherd. In this trap card, I always say a German Shepherd. German Shepherds are the most smartest dogs that you will ever encounter. Okay, this is why cops use German Shepherds. Okay, they're the smartest dogs, right? They study you. Okay, not just study you, they understand you. They protect you, right? So this is why I really believe like there's people amongst the homeless people that are not even homeless. Okay, and there's organized crime. So they're watching the homeless people, they're watching their patterns. They might talk to you, be like, oh, do you have family? Do you have friends? Are you by yourself? That type energy, right? To see who you are. Even when you go to these places where you get help, right? You might get help to get an ID, right? And they say, oh, come to this community center and we'll help you get an ID. And then they'll ask you questions. Well, fill out this paperwork of who's your family, what's your name, do you have any living family to like asking you questions. Do you have any children that are living? Do you have any parents that are living that will ask questions about you? Okay, so say I fill this paperwork out and all my parents die, my mom and my father die, my sister dies, and I'm by myself. Okay, and I put on this paperwork that I'm by myself, and I tell this social worker, I don't have no family. Okay, I'm by myself. Okay, so you're already a targeted individual if you're by yourself, because who's going to care about you if you go missing? We're going to care about you, the ones that are speaking about this. Okay, this bizarre shit that's going on. Okay, um so there's some elements of organized crime behind this. Okay, and there's also some elements of this travel. Okay, so when I see this travel and they have the backpack, right, the hitchhikers or the backpackers, there's an element here of, I feel like they're going to start doing this to everybody, everyday people. That is why they want to read out messages. Yes, this is where I believe the digital IDs are going to come into play. And I just said get out, and I don't know why I said get out. And you remember in the movie I Cloned Tyrone, there was agents that were like on the street pretending to be homeless, and there was vans just coming by just snatching motherfuckers up. Okay, that's. And then when I was in New York and I got off the subway, I said to my ex-husband, and I know he thinks I'm crazy. Okay, he probably thinks I'm crazy, but he wants to be with me. He still loves me. I said, I was like, I was thinking to myself, I don't know if I said it to him or I kept it to myself, but as soon as I came from underneath the subway up to the street, and there's cameras everywhere, you guys, right? And I said to myself, do you know how easy it would be to snatch somebody up? And that day when we left the hospital from seeing his mother, normally we drive and we park the car. We park the car in the parking garage in Manhattan, right? And we have to go all the way to Brooklyn, right? So this time we just took the train. But what happened was we didn't know that at nighttime sometimes the trains are they're not moving, okay, because they're doing construction. They say they're doing construction, right? So then we wind up have to go to another, and then he said, I said, does this happen? Like, does this happen? Like, does this happen? Like, is this normal? He said, yes, this is normal in New York City. So I was like, this is not normal, okay? So, and they keep working down in the tunnels, right? So that's another story there, okay? What are they doing down there in the tunnels like that, right? So I got out from the subway, and the first thing I thought to myself, and I know this may sound crazy, you know how easy it would be just to drive by and snatch somebody up and never have to see them again? But when you come from out the subways, there's cameras there. But once you leave those cameras views, you understand what I'm saying? So travel's here and money's here. So with this travel and money, I mean, they could be using money to lure them in, okay? Um, but definitely there's a element of the devil card, that which that is really concerning, right there, the devil card alone. Because if you have addiction out here, drug addiction, you might fall for the okey doke, okay? Yes, under the bridges, they're not under the bridges. You don't even see them under the bridges anymore. And people are coming by road, and there's secrets surrounding this. And the throat chakra is like you can't speak about it, and they're watching people that are speaking about it because they don't want the secrets to come out of what's happening, okay, or to unlock the secrets. But I think this is setting up for the digital IDs. Okay, let's get one more card on this, and then I need to pull from another deck. Okay, that meeting card wants to come out. The meetings. So they're having meetings about this. So they're discussing this. They're discussing. I split the deck, and there we go with the cards. So there's a cultist behind this. Same energy. Same energy. Okay, same energy. A cultist. So these people are getting abducted and taken for cultists and organized crime. And once you get trapped into this, entrapped in this, you're trapped. You can't go. Okay. A digital ID is going to be like on our phones, and then from our phones, I feel like it's going to go on our body. Because I remember in the movie, and it might not even go on our skin, it might go on our eyes, something with our eyes. They might scan our eyes, because I was on my live and my eyes were being scanned. JR, do you remember that video I did and I said somebody scanning my eyes, and I could see them scanning my eyes from on the other side of my phone? Okay. So digital IDs will be like, okay, so you see on this social media card, that's what the digital IDs are going to be like. So the digital ID is going to be on your phone. And then from your phone, it's going to go from somewhere else. Okay? That's what I'm getting. Yes, they're messing around too much. And this is for entertainment purposes. But this is what I'm seeing with digital IDs. And it's crazy because I remember Florida already had the digital. They didn't have they had the real IDs, and Pennsylvania didn't even have them. And then they passed a bill on, they passed a certain date where if you didn't, you had to have your digital IDs. And some people out here homeless don't even have a goddamn ID. Somebody says that is a sign of the beast. Yes, your eyes, your driver's license, your phone. I think China has it. Yes, yes. And I feel like certain places are that's why I believe it's the eyes. Oh, come through, ancestors. Come through. I was on my live and something was scanning my eyes. I said it on my live video. I was on my live, I was doing a reading, and it was scanning my eyes, and I said, something's scanning my eyes. So I do believe it's going to be the eyes. Somebody says, I think China has it. Yes, that's why I think China is, their technology is high. So when you're in China, if you watch the videos of China, I watched a video on it. They can even see your body temperature. Like, you could be walking and they can see your facial recognition. This is even happening in UK. They can see your facial recognition in the city where I live. Well, the city, I don't live in the city. I live in a rural area. But in the cities, that the city where it's not far from me has the most cameras. The most cameras in a small city. Why is that? The police don't even have to come out. They can watch you from the police station. I'm not making this shit up. Okay? They can watch you from the police station. They don't even have to go out there and patrol the streets. They're sitting at a desk and they're watching you from the desk. And I believe it's the eyes. Damn. And I didn't know what I was going to get in this reading, you guys. I did not think I was going to get what I was going to get. Will the digital IDs be be called Mark of the Beast? I don't believe they will be the mark. It might be the Mark of the Beast. I don't know. Somebody says the eyes are the window to the soul. Yes, it is. So I believe the first after the real IDs is going to be the phones. So it'll be on your phone. It'll be a digital ID, and the reason why I believe that this will affect every area of our life, and I'm gonna tell you why. And this is for entertainment purposes, but this is what I'm picking up as an oracle and as a psychic. The reason why I say this is because of the money card. Because we won't even have money. Like, we won't have the dollar bill, the currency as we know it as the dollar bill. Okay? It will be a digital currency. So, like, you know how you go to the grocery store? Okay? And this is why the money card, I believe, came out in this reading. Okay? And that's because of even the travel card. Okay? Somebody says crypto. I don't think it's going to be crypto. Because crypto on the phones? I don't know that much about cryptocurrency. I did read on cryptocurrency. Deborah said they're watching us in our house with our electric meters. I believe they're watching us with our TVs. And somebody says electric meters. Definitely the TVs. My TV will turn off and on, and there's nothing wrong with this TV. Okay, I'll be watching a movie, and the TV will be watching me. So I don't even have privacy in my home because my goddamn TV's watching me. One day I fell asleep and my goddamn phone was watching me. And see, I'm a seer. And a lot of you guys are seers and empathics too. You guys can see. You guys can see, and the phone was watching me. The TV was watching me. And I'm like, how is this even possible? Somebody says, according to the Bible, the mark of the beast is the non-ether beings. I believe that the eyes will be the next, because think about it. To buy food, what do you need? If you have a digital ID on your phone is going to be like the money, right? So you're not even going to need the money now. And if you see the money now that's coming out, it's like they're preparing us for this digital ID. And then after the digital ID is going to be, somebody says your watch watches you again. Everything watches you. That's why they make everything out of a certain material. Okay? I mean, a certain, not material, a certain element. Okay? And there's times, and this has been happening more recently with my TV, because there's nothing wrong with my TV. I had this TV for quite some time, and I'm like, is my TV going bad? But what the fuck is going on? Like, I will have my TV on, I'll be watching a certain show, and my TV will just go off. And then in the background, you know how we have the Roku? There's cars driving by, like it's set up like different, like they'll have the Roku, and they have like a whole city, and there's cars driving by. You'll see the cars driving by. It's weird, okay? The energy is bizarre, okay? And I read energy, okay? So this is what I believe is going to happen in the future is we're going to go to digital ID. This will be on our phones. And then from that is something with on our body. So I do believe it's the eyes. And I'm going to see if I can find out. Maybe I can, or maybe I can't find out what it's actually going to be. Let's pull. I'm not going to do God. What somebody says, I'm not going to do it. God needs to take me and or feed me. I refuse it. Yes. So I believe if we refuse it, that's where we're going to have the problem, because we're not going to be able to eat or survive. Okay. These people will no longer be ruling y'all. Well, I hope I have to worry because my kids and grandkids are here. Okay. That's why I have to worry. And there will be people going into the mountains, fleeing. Like, people will have their own cities in the mountains. So these people that will go in the mountains will resist this way of life. They'll go to the mountains. And they'll refuse this way of life. They will refuse, and they're going to go to the mountains. Okay? So the people that are going to refuse this are going to say, fuck this shit, I'm not doing this, I'm going to the mountains. Okay? And there's people already in the mountains now. Okay? Yes, and this is why we have to stand up for ourselves. They are, because we're the ones that support this. I want to see if the missing card comes out, because for the homeless. Let's see. Let's pull one more card on the homeless. Are they going missing? And I said I won't use. I'm trying not to use I'm trying not to use cards in my reads, because I don't need to use them. But I just want to pull one more card on this energy, and then I want to do a read on. Later on, it's a famous person that I know why they took him out. I know exactly why they took him out. I did a read on him before. This would be my part 2 on him. He's such a beautiful soul, man. Okay, so I got this male and this male and this alien card. So this is like masculine, and this is also something foreign. Okay. I'm ready to go with the Lord Savior. Jesus ain't coming to save nobody. You're supposed to have saved yourself and said the kingdom is within. Yes, the kingdom is within. This is will be something that's man-made. We can't have fear, okay? Because not everybody is going to be the people that there's going to be people that fleeing, so they won't have to be a part of this, and then some people, and I feel like mountains. I don't know why the mountain card came out, but it came out for a reason. And I'm not trying to be like a fearmonger here, okay, at all. But this is what I see. I see digital IDs, and then something. The real IDs are here. There's something very interesting about Arizona. So I was at. I'm gonna end it here. So I was at the DMV, and remember, you guys, I've been having some weird shit happening in my life, and I'm starting to believe everything that happened is not weird. It's a coincidence. Okay. I really believe in everything that's happening to me is a coincidence. When I remember I went on the boat, I went on a boat. This wasn't the one in Maryland. I went on the boat in Pennsylvania. There's a place here. And me and this girl, okay, yeah, have no fear. Me and this girl, okay, so the girl, I didn't see the girl there, okay? So it was a girl that allegedly looked like me, okay? So you have to give your IDs to get on the boat, right? So I gave the guy my ID. He was an Italian man married to a white woman or Italian woman, whatever. And they had a little child there, right? So I took my grandson out there in the boat. I had that video. Do you know when I came back, I didn't even bother to look at my goddamn ID, and I had somebody else's ID. So I called the guy, right? And I said to him, I said, you know, you gave me somebody else's ID. And I didn't even realize it because I didn't think like somebody would hand me somebody else's ID because they give you a key with the number. I don't know if they give you a key. They give you something with so you would know like what boat, okay? So he put my ID in that key slot, right? So how did he give me I don't believe things are happening coincidence are happening to me. Okay, I believe this stuff is happening because I started my YouTube channel. Okay, I don't believe this shit is just happening because if I didn't have this channel, I don't believe none of these incidents would occur. Okay, so he gave me somebody else's ID. He was Italian. Okay, and I called him, and his dad picked up. Okay, and he picked up. I think he picked up first, and then his dad. I'm like, this is from. Just give me my fucking ID. Okay, so he gave another woman my ID. Yes, JR, it's some crazy shit going on. And then I'm asking myself, is this shit a coincidence? No, this shit is happening to me because of my YouTube channel. Okay? Ever since I started this YouTube channel, they've been coming for me hard. Okay? And they gave me somebody else's fucking ID. So guess what had to happen? I had to go to the DMV and get a new ID. And guess what they issued the date on my new ID? They issued the date on my new fucking ID. So I drove to the girl's house that I had her ID. The girl didn't even live there. The girl did not live there. So on the ID, the girl looked like she had my color. I don't know if they think all black people or Hispanic people look alike, but the girl did not fucking look like me, okay? So I drove to the girl's house because it had her name and her ID on it. And I told this guy, I want my goddamn ID. I threatened him. I said, you better give me my fucking ID. Okay, because I don't know what kind of games you guys are playing. So you know it's not coming from a low level place. This is coming from a high level place to play these fucking games with me, okay? And the thing is, they don't think I can see. I can see. The point is always makes me seem crazy. Yes, they try to make me, and then they try to make me seem crazy. So I went to the person's house. They live in Lancaster City, okay? This is past a horror movie. It's like None of this is a coincidence, okay? So I knock on the door, a girl answers the door. She looks nothing like the girl on the ID. Now, did the girl move to another location? Sometimes people move and they don't change their address on their ID. It happens all the time, okay? But the girl that opened the door was not, nothing looked like me, okay? The girl, even on the ID, looked nothing fucking like me, okay? She had the same color as me, okay? So I'm believing none of this shit is a coincidence, okay? So somebody from a high position is coming for me, okay? Somebody says they know who you are. Yes, they do know who I am. They know I'm a true seer. They know that I'm a true psychic, okay? And the reason why I know this for a fact is because the shit I talk about, how do I know this? Okay, I'm not on their side, I'm on my side. Okay, I'm on the right side. Okay, so they know that I know this because I'm picking this energy up. Okay, they know the ones that are real and they know the ones that are fake. Okay, they know. Okay, and I bet you if I do this deck right now to find out who's doing this, it's either going to come out occult or organized crime, because I pulled the energy myself and I didn't have to use the cards. I said, show me them. Okay, and I'm sick of the shit. I'm so fucking over it. Okay, and then if I want to take this to courts, I have to have evidence that these people are doing this to me. It's gang stalking, and if you're talking about stuff out here, people want to sue you. Okay, if you're not getting sued or your channel's not getting flagged, okay, you have to choose a side. Okay, there's no gray area. Okay, you either choose a side of being good or you choose a side of being evil. There's no gray area. You're either good or you're good, you do good shit, or you do bad shit. Okay, there's no gray area. There's no in between. Okay, you're either evil or you are good out here. Okay, there's no gray area. I don't care what nobody says. There's no gray area. Okay, so once you cross that line and you're a good person and you decide to gang stalk people, harass people, or just be an evil person. Okay? There's no gray area. You have to either be, there's only two sides of the coin. Okay? Yeah, they're coming for me. But they can't touch me. They try to make me sound. So I went to the house. Some girl answers the door. She looks Hispanic, but she's real light skinned. And her husband is white, or her boyfriend, or whatever, is white. No, they don't want me spreading awareness, and they don't want me spreading the truth. Okay? And they just shut my Cash App down. I can open my Cash App with another name. Okay? Why would you shut my Cash App down? I'm not doing nothing illegal. That's why they can't come after me legally, because there's nothing they can find on me. My background is clean. I have a FBI background, a federal background. The reason why is because of the work that I do. When I work in group homes, when I ran group homes and I ran foster homes for agencies, my background, I had to do an FBI background, okay? A federal background. So there's nothing they can get on me. So they tried to come after me, okay? So this is what I'm saying. So they took my ID. So when I went to the DMV, they had to give me a new driver's license. And guess what date they put on that? They put the date that that new ID was issued, which I already had that new real ID. So that ID is saying that I was not a Pennsylvania resident for 2 or 3 years. That ID is saying that I was a Pennsylvania resident for a couple of months. It was bizarre. So what they were trying to do was, like, say I would go get a job, I couldn't be. They would say, well, how you had to be a resident for 2 years in the state of Pennsylvania to get a job, but your ID says that you just got this issued ID. So I have to explain to people that my ID was stolen, because it was stolen. I even called the police. Okay. So to make this a long story short, this is the things they do, and this is the shit we have to go through. Okay. So in the future, they were going to have digital IDs from digital IDs, and you see it's on the phone, so it's going to be on the phone, and then from that, it's going to be something else. Okay. So that's what I'm seeing. Okay. None of this is a coincidence. Okay. Everybody that comes in my life, I know who they are. Okay. They may present themselves as my friends, or this or that, but I know everybody's intentions. Okay. There's a saying I always say: you have to play the fool to be the fool. Okay. Yes, I made a police report, and guess who came out? So this was at a national. This is how they really got me. Okay. I made a police report, but I was on a natural. I was on, and I even mean the lady. I was so angry, and I have to keep my composure, right? So guess what happened? I'm at a national park, so no police comes. Guess who comes? The what do you call those guys that work in the parks? She came out, a white woman. She came out in a car. She came out with blonde hair. The white woman came out, and the guy that owns the boat company he's contracted. He has a contract with the parks. Okay. Yes, and this guy wasn't even American. He had Italian. He was Italian, and I was cussing him out. I was going in on him. Okay. I was like, I see you. I even see when I talked on the phone. I was like, I see your face. I was telling him what he had on and everything. I was like, I want my goddamn ID. Whatever games you guys are playing, play that with somebody fucking else. Because I'm going to come for you. And if I come for you, it's not going to be nice. And I'm not going to come for you in the physical. I'm going to come for you in the spiritual. Okay? And my ID, when I went to the DMV, they said that my ID was issued that day. So it looks like I wasn't a resident of the of Pennsylvania for less than a year. And the park lady came out because I called them. And the police were like, well, we had to send the park rangers out. So the white lady got out her car, and I said they took my ID. They took my ID and gave me somebody else's ID. So the boat company is leasing out from the park and recreation. Okay. And I didn't want to make a big scene because my grandson was with me. And then I drove to the girl's house that I got her ID, and it wasn't the girl. So some people, they move, they don't change their address. It was the girl never lived there. So I don't, and then I asked I should have recorded it because I should have asked her how long I should have said, how long were you in this 212? I should have asked her, how long were you in this, how long have you lived here? That's what I should have asked her. How long have you lived here, and recorded it? But you have to have proof. You have to have proof. So a lot of things that are happening in my life are not a coincidence. And then when you talk about it, it makes you seem crazy. But you're not crazy. You know what's going on. I bet you anything, I can pull a card out of this deck and it's going to say caught or organized crime. And the organized crime is the government. Okay, some branch of government. I don't know. And then they follow me in cars, and then there's a car that's sitting across from me. I took a picture. There's a work car, and at night they had infrared heat. So when you see somebody with infrared, there's somebody inside the vehicle. And they think I don't know this. I know this, but I'm not spreading no hate. I'm not a terrorist. I'm a psychic. Okay, I'm just a psychic. That's all I am. I'm just a psychic. Check online if anybody else. No, I did check. I did check, JR. That's what I'm saying. I should have been a detective. I did check. I did check. I checked, and I even put a review. I put on the review. They took my ID. They never gave me my real ID back. And you need to be careful when you leave there, because I didn't even. When you're out and you're having fun, you're not thinking about looking at your ID. Okay. I think it's weird they are holding on to people's ID. Yeah, and why would they hold on to my ID? Okay. So when you go to the DMV and you get a new ID, they take your old ID, okay, and they cut it. right? Somebody says, yeah, you might get framed for something. And that's what I was worried about. But the thing is, if you get framed for something, they have to have your DNA, um, or something like that. Okay, they can get it off of a they can dig in the trash and go through your trash and get your fingerprints. And then when you also take your fingerprints with the federal background, they can just take your ID, your fingerprints there and stage like you did a crime. The shit is crazy. Okay, it's so crazy. It is so crazy. And then the thing is, like, there's cases that I've been working on, and the one case with Caden, the police showed up. Okay, so I know they're watching. And the thing is, there's no way that that cop showed up and knew that I was there. There's no way in hell. There was no cameras, nothing. So I know I'm being followed. Okay. Yeah, they have your blood already. I think they want to say you stole something, someone's ID. Yeah, and the crazy thing is, I went to the person's house, and that person that was on the ID wasn't even living there. I can't make this shit up, you guys. I cannot make this fucking shit up. I have an uncle that's a lawyer. They have your blood already. This is why I believe some things out here are staged, and I believe people are being set up for crimes they never done. It could be me or you set up for some shit we never done. I can't even make this shit up, but it's the truth. Um, Hello, is there tunnels in France? Yes, Tatiana. There's tunnels everywhere. There's tunnels there's tunnels and there are maps under every city. In every country. But the problem is we're using the new maps. You have to go back to the old maps. The old maps will show you the infrastructure. The new maps won't show you it. It's the old maps, okay, of how the town was built, how the place that wherever you live is built. It's the old maps, because they're always changing the maps. Look up their name. Does a person exist? Yes, I try to look them up on Facebook, you guys. I could not. Oh my gosh, I could not find them. I could not find them. Because I tried to look on Facebook to send her a message saying that I had her ID. I could not find her. And I wasn't never going to talk about this, but I was like, shit, let me talk about this shit. Is there tunnels here in Africa? Yes, I believe there's tunnels. There's tunnels everywhere. I believe a lot of these tunnels are under mountains. The mountain peaks that you see, there are tunnels underneath there. And then if you're in the city, you're living above a tunnel. Okay? They're all around the world. Yes, tunnels are all the way around the world. You got to understand, tunnels were built way before a lot of us were even born. Okay? And then they have maps of, say, the city that you live in. You can even look this up. You can go to like a library. You can go to like a surveiller or whatever, and you can Google. Okay, this is where I live at. What was the infrastructure? Okay. There's tunnels everywhere. So I'm gonna pull a card on why they took my ID. Why did they take my ID that day and give me somebody else's ID? Ancestors, give me true discernment. True discernment. All right, why they took my ID and give me somebody else's ID? Ancestors, angels. Oh my! You see how they flipped it out? Okay, regret. So somebody that whoever did this is in regret because they know that I know who they are. Regret. My ancestors are saying they should be in regret, and they are in regret. I don't think they're in regret, but my ancestors said they regret. Give me another card. Why they took my ID, my driver's license? Did they try to set me up for a crime or something? Or I don't know. Because these people are so evil out here, man. Give me one more card. Regret. So somebody's in regret. Give me another card. Celebrity. I have a celebrity. Regret. And I have legal proceedings. And there's a female energy here. And there's a male energy that's coming for me. And fraud. So they could have been trying to set me up for some kind of fraud. Okay. My ancestors, I had a dream that there's going to be a massive collapse over the tunnels. And the people living there will be exposed. Yes. They use them mostly for the post office so they could transport the mails underground. They are all around the world. Yes. There's tunnels everywhere. I was at a restaurant and there was a tunnel right there underneath the restaurant. It's a famous Colombian restaurant in Tampa, Florida. And there's a tunnel system. The bootleggers used to take the alcohol and run it underneath the tunnel. I was using the bathroom. I was like, oh my gosh, where's the entrance to this tunnel? And the artwork was bizarre. It was so bizarre. But it was a beautiful restaurant. It's the most famous restaurant in Tampa. But the bootleggers used to run the bootleggers and the mafia ran Tampa. Okay. Yes. And they would go just from the restaurant, just go right down to the tunnel. So the reason why they took my ID, somebody's in regret, somebody may be a celebrity. There's a female male here. So there's a female energy, which I already pulled this energy. My ancestors will show me who this female was. I know who she is. Legal proceedings. They try to get me in some shit here. It's maybe some fraud. Okay. This celebrity could be a female. I did do a reading on Tiffany Haddish and she commented on my shit. But all the stuff they try to throw at me, none of it works. Okay. Because I see it before it comes. So perversion. And I got abuse and neglect of power. And somebody wants revenge on me. And my intuition was already telling me this. Because I already knew this. So somebody wants to abuse and neglect their power. They want revenge on me for whatever reason. Because I'm speaking the truth. There's perversion here. There's a female energy here. Feminine energy. And she could be a celebrity. Or she just could be in the spotlight. Okay. But there's more to this. And I already know what it is. Okay. And abuse and neglect of power. Okay. And revenge. Okay. And my intuition already knew this. And I already knew this too. Okay. And they're getting their karma. Okay. Trust me, I see before it happens. Okay. So that's why they did that. So there's some shit, crazy shit's happening to you guys too. And a lot of this is not a coincidence. Okay. It's not a coincidence. Okay. So we have to use our intuition out here. Okay. They will make you seem like you're batshit crazy, but you're not. You're just tapped the fuck in. Okay. So the homeless people and the digital IDs, they will come about. The real IDs are going to come about. Well, they're already here, but okay. So I want to talk about Arizona. So there was a lady at the DMV, and I'm going to end this. So there's a lady at the DMV. This is why I say people come across my path for a reason. So there was a lady there. We were standing in line to go into the DMV, right? The DMV hasn't opened. So I got there early in the morning because I didn't know if it was going to be packed or not. So I'm outside. There's two women out there, right? One, she said she was from the UK. She married an American man. And she was just there to renew her ID. And then There was a white woman there. She lived in Arizona. So me and the girl was having a conversation. She said in Arizona, did you guys know this? I had to even look this up when I got home. She said in Arizona, you know how they give us 5 years? Okay, our IDs are good for 5 years, right? Do you know in the state of Arizona, this is why every state is ran differently. So think about it. Every state, you're like you're in your own country, okay? So somebody says a tunnel collapse in Johannesburg. Yes, you will see things happening and it won't be man-made, it'll be natural because there's a balance of evilness that has to be balanced, okay? So when things collapse and you see the tunnels, like that tunnel in New York City and Brooklyn, there was a tunnel, underground tunnel in Brooklyn, where the on Atlantic Avenue, where the Jewish people were living, and somebody was working, and they found a whole goddamn tunnel in Brooklyn, New York. Okay, and there was beds and cots and shit down there, and people were like, "What the fuck is going on?" Excuse my French, in Brooklyn, New York, and this was all in predominantly um, Orthodox Jews. Yeah, somebody was working in the area, and they weren't Jewish. Okay, I'm telling you, they were somebody from the outside coming in to work in the community, and they found the whole goddamn tunnel system. Okay, tunnels are everywhere. Everywhere. There's a tunnel underneath me right now. Okay. I went to Gettysburg, and there was a cemetery, and if I would have opened that door, I believe I would have walked down into a tunnel system. And I was in the graveyard. I was drawn there. So if I would have opened that door, okay, I don't know what was behind that door. So I didn't open the door. And there was no lock on that grave. Okay, and it looked like it was on a mount, like on a mount. So I believe like some of these mountains, underneath the mountains, there's tunnel systems. Okay. Um, to go to different places, to maneuver. Okay, and there's even tunnel systems in the body of water. So there's people that's living underwater. Okay, there's a whole community. This is why I believe Oprah Winfrey was going over there to what's that place? Because I kept seeing Maltese, right? I've never heard of I heard of Maltese, and I'm like, why does she keep going to Maltese? Okay, because there's a whole city under the goddamn water. Okay. And she could leave and just go where she got to go. Okay, by boat, submarine. I don't know. Okay, um, but yeah. Somebody says I believe they found one under a courthouse in New York. Yes, the tunnels are everywhere. You have to know, like, and that's why people that do like the engineers, they have to get, you have like the blueprint of the building, right? And then the blueprint of underneath the city. And the blueprint underneath the city, there's tunnels that go in every direction. But I'm starting to notice like the mountains, it looks like mounts or mountains. They're underneath those. Okay. The mountains are also used to hide nuclear weapons. Yes, and I believe trafficking and all kinds of illegal stuff. Because I remember when I did that read on Hollywood, and that read I did on Diddy, you guys remember? On P. Diddy, he's getting out. He's coming home. He's coming home. He's getting out. P. Diddy's getting out. But R. Kelly didn't get the same fate. R. Kelly had to stay in there. So there's stuff that's hidden underneath there. Give me one more card on the tunnels. So stuff is hidden down there. What else about the tunnels we need to know, ancestors? The tunnels, they're people's homes. live underneath the tunnels? There you go, JR. The deserts. There you go. Under deserts too. And there goes the tunnel. So underneath the tunnel, things are hidden. People live there. Even the desert. Let's see if we get the mountain card. Let's see if we get the mountain card, because I'm telling you, I couldn't believe, like, I went to the Gettysburg battlefield and something told me to go to that cemetery. I went to that damn cemetery and there was like a mount. Okay, a mount. I never seen nothing like that. And there was no lock on that door. So I believe if I would have opened that door, I could have went down to a whole goddamn city that ran into underneath the city of Gettysburg. Somebody says, how can they live without sun and sea? Tatiana, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. They come up. I believe they come up. Because if you see the home, there's light to it, right? So the home is above the tunnels. Okay? And there's things, people hidden in these tunnels. Okay? But they can enter by their homes. And this is the energy I was getting from P. Diddy's reading. And Oprah's reading. Okay? And deserts. It's here. Let's get one more card on it. And then we're going to end this. One more card. That card wanted to come out. If it's meant to come out, it will come out. So this is going to be called, this is going to be slash missing homeless people slash underground tunnels. Yes, submarines. What else we need to know about these tunnels? Families. There's families down there. Okay. Okay, somebody says there is everything you can ever want underground. Yes. There's whole goddamn families inside. Look at this. Somebody says food, gyms, everything. Yes. Like if something would happen, they can just walk down from their home and go into these tunnels. Because these tunnels are inside. Okay? They have a entryway and an exit way. Okay? And families. Families have this. People buy houses all the time and they find tunnels and all kinds of stuff, okay, on their property. I remember when I did that read on P. Diddy and I said that there was something that you can just push. It looked like to me it looked like a fireplace. And you could just push it and it led to another room. I think I said a fireplace in that reading I did with him. And then it led to the tunnel. Okay. I remember I did also read on Hawaii. And the Hawaiian people are related to my tribe. My tribe was in Hawaii. The Hawaiian people have the same DNA makeup I have. Because the Taino tribe and the Hawaiians, we went to Hawaii. We went to South America. Okay. So is there tunnels? There's tunnels everywhere. I was hoping I was getting the mountain card because I see them underneath the mountains. There's another place I used to go when I was a kid. I used to go fishing. I just went back there. And it looks like an entranceway. But you have to go by boat. You can't go by land. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if we get boats or mountains. And you get off the dock. I just took a picture of it. You get off the dock, but you have to go by boat to the other side. And there's a bridge. Okay? And it's saying by road or by travel. Okay? And I seen people coming off the boat. They were docking the boats and they were going into the water. Um, and you can't get to that other side where because I used to go there. My dad used to take me there as a kid, and I went there as an adult, and the scenery was the same, but I noticed as an adult, because I'm more experienced as a psychic, that there's a whole tunnel system over there. Okay. They stated that tunnels were under Hugh Hefner's and Gene Hackman's home. Yes. Is that why they all live in groups in LA? Almost every celebrity lived there or their house there, yes. And that's why I believe some of the celebrity homes were burnt down, because it was burnt down because of evidence. And then some of them wasn't burnt down. And you can get to one person's house to Hugh Hefner. I mean, it wasn't like they were not hiding it. Okay? It was a whole damn tunnel system. Okay? They have one that goes into... I remember I was watching some documentary, and there was people that were smuggled in the United States, and they were coming through tunnels. And what's name? He left through a damn tunnel system. Okay, but what was really interesting was that cemetery. I believe that cemetery, and you wouldn't think a cemetery would be an entrance or exit point. Just saying, a damn cemetery. Goddamn cemetery. And the crazy thing about it was, something led me there. I go where I'm led in spirit. And I go to the cemetery, and I'm like, it looks like a vault, like, a monument, but it's not a normal monument. It's like, and it even had a damn, like a chimney to it. Somebody says you are connecting the dots. Yes, I am. Okay, and it's crazy, but a cemetery would be an entry point and an exit point to a city, a tunnel, underground tunnel system. I was shocked. I was like, I did not think, because I was just going there to see what energy I was picking up from and I was like, don't no soldiers follow me home, okay? None of y'all follow me home. Stay here, okay? You could see them in the woods. I mean, they were everywhere. You could see them in their soldier uniforms. They were the Confederate soldiers, the Union soldiers. And I was like, damn, they got... and then I was led to that cemetery. I'm like, why the hell am I in this cemetery? And I showed you guys that video, and I was like, what is going on? And the lady says, go look at the lady said, go look at that, go look at something. And she was on the live, and I went to look at it, and you can actually open the goddamn, the vault. Okay, it looked like a vault. And I was like, I'm not opening that. Now, curious minds, they would be like, oh, let me just open this. No, I'm not that curious. Okay, I already see what I see. Okay. But anyways, I'm gonna end this, you guys. Thank you guys for joining me. This is Jennifer Felix. This is on There We Go, the Mountains. I knew I was gonna get the mountain card. So I went to visit an old spot where me and my dad went fishing, and this time, the way I see it is not like I used to see it, because when I was a little girl and I'm fishing, I'm picking up the energy of my surrounding, right? But this time it was different, right? There's a bridge. There's actually a bridge, okay? A bridge, right? Underneath the bridge, we would go fishing. And there's one part where you enter by foot, and one part you enter by boat. And I said to myself, damn, It'd be so interesting. It would be so. It looked like it looked like you can just take the boat and you go into a whole other different island. And this is in Pennsylvania, so I'm like, what's under this goddamn mountain? Okay, um, and the guy that came off the boat was this. You see normal people on boats. You're not really paying attention, but that day I was paying attention. And I went on the boat side instead of going on the other side. Because normally when we go fishing, we go on the other side. And something told me to go on the boat side. This was different for me. Okay. And even there was a hill that went all the way up. Okay. And I'm like, this makes sense. This makes so much sense. Okay. But this is what I'm getting, guys. Jennifer Felix readings. Thank you guys for joining me so much. And all this is for entertainment purposes, and all this is bullshit. I just watched, somebody says, I just watched a video on 2 teenagers who were killed in the subway. What? Surfing. The cops mentioned lately teenagers were trying to get into the tunnels. Yeah, in New York, I wouldn't get lost in those tunnels because they're always doing construction, and it's weird. They even had, like, when I was in New York, I was in Rome. I'm like, United States is Rome, okay? They had like all these Roman symbols, and if you don't know Roman mythology or Roman symbols, you won't know what is going on, okay? So Manhattan is Rome, okay? Manhattan, New York is Rome. And those subways, I don't know what's there, but I was just like, I don't know how the people do it. You can't even breathe down there. It's so goddamn hot. So you have to have like some kind of like that person was saying, like light, source to breathe. Um, in Sweden, it was a big mount, and buried soldiers there became BC is it was weird. Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you. What happened with the Arizona lady? Oh, okay. So let me tell you about the Arizona lady. You guys can Google this, okay? That's why I said when people come across your life, they come across your life for a reason. So the lady from Arizona, I did not know this, okay? I need to go get my phone. Let me go get my phone. Um, you can have a driver's license in the state of Arizona. I think she said 10 years. And I was like, 10 years? In most states, you have to get a driver's license every 5 years. Why in Arizona it's every 10 years? Can somebody Google that for me real quick? Let me go get my other phone. I had a car that flew down here. Ambition. The card says ambition. What happened with Arizona? Okay, so the lady said that in Arizona that you can have a driver's license. I know she didn't say like. I think she said 10 years or longer. So it says no command. Command my phone to turn on. Somebody Google how long can you have a driver's license in the state of Arizona? I've never heard of that, TP. When she said that to me, I was like, what? Yeah, 10 years. Somebody says Arkansas is 10 years. My driver's license, see, even Arkansas. What? That is so weird. Nevada is the same, Jennifer, 10 years or more. Not in Pennsylvania. They give you your driver's license for 5 years. I'm trying to turn my phone on. I think it's 5 years. Let me go get my driver's license. Arizona says 12 years renewal cycle. Arkansas is 10 years. Is this what I'm saying? I'm learning so much stuff. Let me screenshot this. Okay, Arkansas is 10 years. Um, Arkansas is 10 years. Nevada is 10 years. Arizona is 12 years. That's very interesting. You can change your appearance in 10 to 5 years. So Pennsylvania, okay, so it's 5, 6, 7, 8. So 5, 6, 7, 5. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8. So Pennsylvania is saying 5 years. So every state is different. That is crazy. So Arizona's 12 years. I've never heard of that. Don't you guys think that's interesting? What happened with the Arizona lady? Yeah, she said 12 years. That's what she said, and I was like, what? I'm like, I never heard of that. She said yes. In Arizona, they don't have to renew their license for until every 12 years, but we have to renew our license in the state of Pennsylvania every 5 years. So I believe whatever bill they're gonna pass, it has to do with our license, because I remember I was doing that reading and I kept seeing my license. And if they do the digital, it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be like that, because every state is different laws and stuff. Um, in Sweden, the soldiers were buried under a big mount before Christ BC that had entrances. Yes, it probably was like the Knight Templars, Maria. The Knight Templars, or the Nordic, the Vikings. I know the Vikings. They used to do like the indigenous people do. They would burn the bodies, cremate the bodies. Um, so hold on. Yeah, Pennsylvania is every 5 years. That is crazy. They're making money from us. So every state you have your, and then I can't believe that Arizona has 12 years. So every 12 years you have to update your driver's license, which I find that very interesting. And Nevada's 10 years, Arkansas's 10 years, Pennsylvania is every 5 years. Which I find that interesting. Because your appearance can change, everything can change, but I feel like it's something with our IDs. So our IDs, because I don't want to show my ID, the picture down there, see, I believe they're going to be digital. We're going to have digital IDs, my friends. Yes, Arizona's 12 years. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't you find that interesting that Arizona's 12 years? That I wonder if Arizona is the only state that has that's 12 years. When she said that to me, I'm like, she joking or she for real? She was for real. And I came home and looked it up, and she wasn't lying. She was telling the truth. That's why it's good to listen to people, because you learn things from people. So yes, you have to listen, because you learn things from people. And I was like, wow, 12 years. I don't know if it's because indigenous, or I don't even know, like the indigenous tribes, that if they have to get the same IDs. In Georgia, it's 10 years. Wow. Not here. Not here. We have to renew it every 5 years. I got to look up Florida's. I think Florida's is 5 years too. That's very interesting. Very, very interesting. So Arizona's 12 years. Georgia's 10 years. Nevada is 10 years. Arkansas is 10 years. That is weird. That's why I feel like every state is, there's governor, like they have their own rules and regulations. But I feel like there's something with our IDs, because I kept seeing our IDs. I'm like, why am I seeing our IDs? It was weird. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to do a reading later on this famous person. I've been watching his shows. I love him. I don't know why they did what they did to him. They said that he committed suicide, but I don't believe that. And by me watching his old shows and stuff, I understand what happened. And he was also showing us proof of what was going on. And a lot of us didn't even see it. Didn't even see it. He did this one video where he went back to a place that he once visited. And, you know, his show, I did a reading on him. He's no longer here in the physical, but he's here in the spiritual. And he was such a beautiful soul, you guys. I'm like, why did they take him out? But the reason they took him out is because he was going to expose some stuff about human trafficking. And you guys, it is so sad. The surveillance card keeps coming out. Yes. Jesse the Don. Damn, Jesse. Are you reading me? Jesse, I believe you're psychic. You when I be on my lives, you be reading me. Telepathically, could be reading me. Okay, you be telepathically, because it could have been anybody, Jesse the Don. Jesse the Don, do you work for the government? Are you spying on me? Are you my stalker? Jesse the Don, are you my stalker? I know you're government. I know you're a veteran for sure. I know you're a veteran for sure. Jesse the Don, you're a veteran. I know that for a fact. You served in the military. You didn't? Okay, then what's your real identity, okay? But I ain't mad at you, because you helped me on my channel, okay? You know some stuff, okay? I'm like, are you government, Jesse the Don? Because you be knowing some stuff, okay? I'm going to let you guys go. Yes, that's who I'm going to do a read on, Jesse the Don. I'm not going to say the name, but when I tell you I've been watching his videos, and why I'm been watching them, I was like, oh my gosh. He's telling us, and this is crazy because his show, he was working for a big corporation on his show, and he had to go places that they were telling him to go, but then he started telling them where he wanted to go, and he was like backtracking. And the guy asked him something on one of the videos, why are you here? One of the guys asked him, why did he come back? Like, why are you here? And he gave a reason why he's here. He said, because when I was here before, I couldn't see things clear. That's exactly what he said. He said, when I was here before, I couldn't see things clear. That's why I had to go visit that place where me and my dad used to go fishing, because I was a little girl. I was still a psychic, but I was a little girl. And when you're a little girl psychic, you're picking up energy, right? But you're tapped into the surrounding energy, right? So you know if it's bad or good. All of us have intuition, okay? The intuition is what saves us out here, right? And you need to trust it. So I'm going to do a reading on him, and I believe what he was telling us is that these places that he was going back to is where things was happening, okay? And I'm so mad at them. Whoever took his life, I am mad at that person, and I want them to meet the ultimate fate because he was such a beautiful soul, and he did not jump off of a damn building, okay, or take his life. And I'm gonna do his reading later. And yes, Jesse the Don, you know exactly who I'm talking to about. Jesse the Don, I believe you're a psychic. You have a gift, my friend. And I keep been watching his shows, and I love him so much because when I channeled his spirit, he was such a good person. Like, even in life, like, he would help people, and he wasn't a bad person. It's just that he took on a job that ultimately took his life because of the information that he, and it's crazy is because the information that he was getting, it wasn't like it was out in the open, okay? But then some places that he was going, it was out in the open. So he was picking up the cues and the clues. And then I believe it got to a point where it was just like, okay, we're not hiding this anymore. Okay? It is what it is. You accept it or you don't accept it. And I believe he was like, I'm not accepting this. And they took his life, and I admire him because he's such a beautiful goddamn soul. When he came through like Bob Marley did. Okay? Beautiful. It's a beautiful soul, a calmness, a realness, a rawness. And when he said that, he said, when I visit this place, I wasn't in my right state of mind, and I had to come back and revisit it. Okay. And I said to myself, and the guy asked him, why are you here? And I thought that was quite interesting because he travels the world. So why are you asking this man if he's here? Why is he here? And what he said was so profound. He said, when I was here before, I promised the chief that I would come back. And then he didn't just say that. He said that when I was here before, I wasn't in my right state of mind because he was on drugs. He admitted he was an alcoholic and a drug. He was an addict. And if you say you're a drug addict or you're alcoholic in Hollywood, that's how a lot of them are being taken out. They'll use what they're weak in and use that and take advantage, and they'll say, oh, they OD'd or they committed suicide. Okay, and they didn't commit suicide. He didn't commit suicide. He said in his own mouth he did not commit suicide. So I will channel his energy later. Yes, Jesse. Yes, that's what I'm going to do a read on. I did a part 1. I'm gonna do a part 2 because he's such a beautiful soul, and I will continue talking about him. Just like Bob Marley. When Bob Marley came through to me, he was the first person that came through to me. Okay, first I would say celebrity that I connected with on a soul level. Okay, it was Bob Marley, and I never talked about it until I talked about it in my one video. And Bob Marley's soul was so beautiful, and it's crazy because he even talked about the Rastafarian way and how he, the things he believed, it had nothing to do. Somebody says in Georgia's 8 years. Yeah, in Pennsylvania. Look up, Marie, can you look up Pennsylvania? Because I don't know why Pennsylvania is saying 5 years. And then when you renew it, you have to pay money to renew it. But I just thought that was interesting. In Arizona, it was 12 years. I thought that was very interesting. And then people were saying 10 years, 8 years. I need to look up Pennsylvania's. If somebody can look up Pennsylvania's. How long is a driver's license good in Pennsylvania? I think it's 5 years. Somebody says Arkansas is 8 years. Correction, it's now 8 years in Arkansas. In Georgia is 8 years. I'm finding 5 years for Arizona. Yeah, but they're saying she told me 12 years in Arizona. I was like, what? I think that 5 years is Pennsylvania, because in Pennsylvania you got 5 years to renew it. But when she said 12 years, I'm like, I have to go home and look that up. But I learned something, because I'm like, 12 years, that's a long time. So I think they're going to do something with their IDs, you guys. I believe that's the direction they're heading. I believe our IDs are going to be digital. It was 10 years I have that driver's license. I was looking up a celebrity, and I remember on the news they said he died, but he's still alive. This guy wasn't like, I wouldn't say he was a celebrity. He was a celebrity in his own way, just like Bob Marley was. Um, he's traveling. Wait until I do that reading on him. I'm not gonna say who he is, but I'll be back on and I will do it. And I was like, is he really going? Like, I'm thinking to myself, I was watching one of his old shows, and I'm like, I want to believe in my heart that he's somewhere in one of those places that he visited, and he's living this good life, and he's being treated well, and he's being loved. Because even the girl he was with was his handler. The girl, the woman he married was his handler. She was sent in his life. 144. I'm gonna let you guys go. I've been on here for 2 hours. Damn. 2 hours. I've been on here 2 hours, and I was just like, wow. I want to believe he's in like some country living like this, and he been to every country. So I want to pull his energy and see if he faked his death. Because what I got the last time I did a reading on it was he was crossed over. But I'm and I watched the show, and I'm like, did he really fake? Did he get away with this? I mean, this would be so awesome if he did. And he's living in some country, and he living a life, and nobody telling him what to do or how to live. Because he was a free spirit. He's traveling the world. He's doing something that I've always wanted to do. He's such a good person. Somebody says it all depends on the age and medical condition when it comes to DMV license. I literally thought they died. Yeah, I want to know if he's alive. Like, I want to know if he is here. Okay. And I channeled him before, and I want to channel him now, because the energy's always changing. Okay. So I want to know if he's alive or he's gone, because I've been rewatching his shows, and it was like what he would. It was not even what he. It was not what he was even saying. It was what he was not saying. It was what he was not saying and what he was saying. And I was just like, wow, he was leading us breadcrumbs. And I believe one day his truth will come out. And I believe his truth is already out here, because psychics have done reads on him. Okay, I was like, I googled if psychics have did reads on him, and I seen a psychic that did, but I don't follow no other. So I don't follow psychics. So I didn't even watch the reading. Okay, the only psychic that I did a read on was Salome Bella. Okay, there's no other psychic that I ever followed, and I don't even follow Salome. Salome came across my feed, and I used to watch some of her videos. Okay, and I did the P Diddy video before Salome even did the P Diddy video. Okay, and do I believe Salome is psychic? I believe she's an astrologer, and when you're an astrologer, you can get information on how somebody's life when you have astrology chart, you can read somebody's whole life. You know their whole life. Like you know where they're going and where they came from, okay? Do I believe she's psychic? Yes. Do I believe there's more to her story? Yes, I believe there's more to her story. I did a read on Salone. I did a psychic reading on her. Um, I did a psychic reading, and her son, for entertainment purposes, her son lost his life. And do I believe her son was taken out? Yes, I do. I did the read on it. Okay. And it's so sad because when they come after your, when they come for your children, damn, my throat is dry. I'm gonna end this, you guys. Okay. When they come for your children, it's crazy. Um, so I'll be back on and I will do a psychic reading on. I'm not gonna say his name, because there's so much I want to talk about. Okay, and I want to see. I want to pull his energy because I just I watched the shows and I'm like I just pray he's somewhere in one of those places he visited and he's living this perfect life. Okay, 144. Okay, you guys. All right, thank you guys so much. This is Jennifer Felix. I'm sending you guys nothing but love, you guys. I'll be back on later. Bye, you guys.